Hello there. Good afternoon. Welcome to Celebrating Mother Zambia at 56.
Indeed. It is very exciting.
Yep.
We are counting down to Zambia's Independence Day. 56th birthday. Should I call it birthday?
Yes, of course. Mother Zambia's freedom was
Zambia got its independence on the 24th of October. So each year, Zambians get excited and they get to do all sorts of things. Different organizations, the government, they line up programs just to commemorate how far we've come as a country. Welcome to this special edition. And tomorrow, obviously, you have other guys that will come on the show and talk to you and bringing other guests that will help us discuss very important topics pertaining to our independence and the freedom that we are enjoying today.
Yes, of course. And also, I think my name is Precious Mzea Sakaleji. Oh my goodness.
We didn't even do that.
No. My name is Precious Mzea Sakaleji, and yes, of course, you know, our very own Sharon Kalimbula on the other side. And we're here to just count down with you to Saturday, celebrating Mother Zambia's 56th Walk to Freedom. Now, I don't know if, I think the more we grow old, the more the style of celebrating independence changes. I remember way back, I don't know if kids nowadays, I can officially call myself an adult. Kids nowadays do all these fancy, beautiful Zambian outfits. I don't remember the last time I wore one of those. And today I decided to wear a duku because I feel this represents a Zambian woman, like.
And obviously I'm wearing this, representing an African woman, not exactly the Zambian colors, but obviously as we proceed into the nitty-gritties or the actual day, which is the 24th of October, which is Saturday, we'll obviously be wearing those Zambian colors, which is the green, the orange, the black, and the red as well.
Yeah.
If you are watching us beyond borders, Zambia is celebrating its 56th independence on Saturday, and our town, our country is painted in those four important colors for this country. Once again, it's the green, the red, the orange, and the black.
The black, yes, of course. And also, I would say town looks very colorful. I don't know if you have passed those areas.
Honestly,
some hotels,
looking good.
Some restaurants. Some bars, of course, we can't exclude them. Some bars, there's this colorful, all Zambian colors.
Yeah.
I would say the country is actually painted with the Zambian colors, which is, like you said, the black, the red, the green, and the orange as well. And also on the other side, we'll be having a guest that will highlight more on how it has been. I remember you brought in a concern to say our guest for today is looking at it from an education point of view. Majority of the freedom fighters were teachers, and that's one thing that most people don't talk about. Like, it's not tagged to say majority of the freedom fighters were teachers. So we're just trying to look at the things and how education played a role in fighting for independence in Zambia.
Yes, once again, so if you are just joining us, you can go to our Facebook page, obviously we are live, and send us your comment there and just tell us what favorite song you have for independence, what favorite memory you have, anything that you used to do way back in the days. Obviously people have grown. I've seen a lot of days of independence, so yeah, I have also my memories. Equally, yourselves out there, you have your own memories as to how you celebrated independence and coming this far. So you can send us those messages on our Facebook page.
What's your greatest independence memory? If you were to go back into
wearing
time,
the colors. I think it's wearing the colors, and when I was in school, I don't know. So many.
I think the one I remember is when I was, I think, primary section, where we would be practicing like a month before. You're taught to say a poem, Mother Zambia, Mother Zambia. Red stands for the blood, Shanshan. Black for the people.
Stands for the minerals.
I think that's the greatest. Oh no! Wow. I think that's the greatest memory I have.
For the vegetation.
Yeah, and then you even do some paintings. You wear these vitenges, you cut them into pieces, and then you do those traditional dances. That's the greatest memory I have. But right now we have found another way of celebrating. Like, we work on Independence Day, so yeah.
So all right, in case you're just joining us, this is a special program dubbed to celebrate the Independence Day, which is 24th of October, and this year it falls on a Saturday. So this program is a build up to that. We just take a break, and when you join us after that, we'll have our guest in the studio to discuss further how education played a role in the independence struggle.
Msika is here. We have you all covered with just 150 kwacha. You can advertise every day from 17 hours to 18 hours. For a 30-second ad, get the benefit of selling your products and services on Msika. For more details, call our marketing department on +260 953 995099 +260 962 444 726 or +260 971 177 467. Email us on info@camnettvafrica.com. Terms and conditions apply.
We want to be free. We want to be free. We are tired of colonialism. We are tired of colonialism. I will die for my country. I will die for my land. We want freedom. We want freedom. Freedom of our country. Freedom of our land.
Jalukako kulilyo, jalukako kulilyo, lyangalya masonga, lyangalya mashiranoko. Jalukako kulilyo, jalukako kulilyo, lyangalya masonga, lyangalya mashiranoko. Jalukako kulilyo, lyangalya masonga, lyangalya mashiranoko. Jalukako kulilyo, jalukako kulilyo, lyangalya masonga, lyangalya mashiranoko.
Niko abantu. Nasanje bemfungu. Kwaisa.
Kulichi.
Kwaisa abanyamwenzi bari kwaya abasha. Abasha.
Bali kwi?
Bagi pesa mbali.
Abebe. Endesha. Abebe. Yifu ile kwa kumumwana. Lefa abashabanga pansa. Imwe bonse imwe tamunfwayo namushitisha lelo muleya nabo ubukwebo bwapira pape nobyone yapantu taunfwa na ambaka lyokwebwa
Na papa tareka iwe, na papa tareka wewe.
na rekweba nati kenda mumunga utaji
Na papa tamwera mwe.
so kankeno kopulu abye deshalo musimbe
Na tukala mipikira wajibu.
utalia kula ndifikira
Samanya
na mumbya kesa Mumbia kesa ya kukutandala kuri na kuru kabyeni. Wanteka muwe chiwe kabyeni. Sana kwena tukende mirundi otawaisha. Mule yana kwa masuku kwina mule. Kabyeni mule kuku kabyeni. Kwa baba. Hapo chike leta kutinga. Katoka kama mwe.
Africa, mayo Africa, la mama, Molulamba, Nwachimana, Shata, Lankumona, Namono, Mulupa, Obe, Uaiti, Kepamosheo, Umulopa, Wanibe, Yobe, Africa, mayo Africa, African jeva Africa, ukuchula kwa bushabobe, kubushabwa bana bobe, bushe ule akunuma, na unkweshi aliti wachulile mukulisha kore umulopa walibe jore ilibe ya kuchula kore Afrika malipa Afrika Kushe Afrika ore na ile nati ndetotela uwonse abapwishisha obusha n'okuleeta omutende mu kyalo kya Afrika obulwi obukinfya n'enfa okwibukisa ensiku kyapita mulopa waliba ebiroobe iriba eryakukyula kulo Afrika maayo Afrika Afrika maayo Afrika bamama balemba Mululamba Nwachimana Shata Lankumona Namono Mulupa Obe Uaiti Kepamoshiobe Umulopa Walibe Yobe Yakuchula Kobe Africa, mayo Africa Africa, my grandmother sing on this side her distant river I have never seen you before but my gates full of your blood spilled over the field the blood of your sweat the sweat of you toil Africa my Africa Africa tell me Africa the toil of your slavery the slavery of your children are you the path that bends solemnly a voice answers me you tasted the bitter taste of liberty the blood of your sweat the sweat of your toil Africa my Africa is Africa your Africa I answer yes it's my mother and I praise the men who sought to end slave trade and bring peace to Africa's land. The fight, the victory, the death, the memories of bygone days, the blood of your sweat, the sweat of your toil. Africa, my Africa. Africa, my grandmother sing on beside her Atlas and rivers, I have never seen you before. But my gaze will make your black blood spilled over the fields. The blood of your sweat, the sweat of your toil. Africa, my...
Well, welcome back. You're still watching Camnet TV, not just another channel. And we are having this show in counting down to Independence Day, which falls on the 24th of October every year. And this year is on a Saturday. So I know you have enough time to rest. And I saw something on Facebook that was saying, can't the president just say even Monday is your holiday? So
no,
that
actually Friday.
We continue celebrating.
Friday should be a holiday.
Should be a holiday, yeah?
Yeah, it should be a holiday so that people can prepare their minds. But before we go into that, here in the studio we are joined by the National Union of Public and Private Educators of Zambia, General Secretary Mr. Nelson Mwali here in the studio. He's just going to help us discuss this show. As we alluded to before we went on a break, that this time around on today's show we are focusing on the role that educators played in the struggle for independence, and him coming from the teacher union is just going to help us at least give us a bit of history on who the people that were in the forefront of fighting independence were in terms of career-wise, because sometimes we think these people didn't even get any form of education. True. They were just bullies. In today's world, we would call them caddas. You know?
But anyways, before we get into the interview, while we were watching that musical clip that we had put on, I like that song in particular because it tells how the freedom fighters went through the struggle before getting the independence. You know, I imagine being sold for a piece of cloth, being exchanged for a piece of cloth, and also being warned to say you misbehave a lot when they come, I'll sell you. Yeah. Like literally, I'll sell you. How does that make you feel, Mr. Mwali?
How do you relate to that?
How do you relate to that?
Yeah, it's a regrettable situation. Sometimes even a smaller bag of salt could be used in exchange of an energetic human being. And I'm told those that were energetic were more of victims, because you were meant to go and work in the sugarcane and the banana plantations out there in the Caribbean islands. And so we are saying, I think slavery is not something that one would talk about with pride. Of course, we did attain political independence, and so we are striving by all means to attain economic independence. But because we cannot proudly say we are economically independent, I think we would be cheating ourselves. Yeah.
Okay, so how do you... We have the Kaundas of this world. We have the Grey Zulus, may he so rest in peace. We have Mama Kankasoso, may her so rest in peace. These are the prominent freedom fighters that we've been talking about year in, year out. Obviously, we have a number of them. Maybe just a quick comment on who they were.
Yeah, sometimes I find it unfair, especially when people talk about the freedom fighters that we had, with emphasis that, they were only freedom fighters and then eventually they became politicians. We overlook the fact that actually a very good number of these, freedom fighters were actually teachers. I would cite an example. His Excellency, the former Republican President, Dr. Kenneth Kaunda, was a teacher. His colleague from the neighboring Zimbabwe, who was at one time teaching here at Chalimbana, Robert Mugabe, was actually a teacher. Simon Mwansaka Pepea from Chisali was actually a teacher, and indeed John Manakatwe, that we've heard of writing a number of books here and there, was actually a teacher. And these people, they fought independence seriously. And so you cannot talk about, independence without looking at the role that teachers played. And so I will repeat to say, I find it unfair when people are talking about freedom fighters and they are not emphasizing
that they were teachers.
These were teachers, actually. And
recognition.
So, yes, you can't talk about independence without eulogizing teachers, because actually we are the ones that played a very, very important role. And so when I see celebration being done without teachers being fully involved, I feel heartbroken because it takes me back to the independence that we enjoyed when I was in my village in Chipata, Mugubudu area specifically, where we could slaughter pigs, slaughter goats, and then we are dancing with our teachers and celebrating when I was in grade 5. But I'm not seeing that now. All I'm seeing is, you know, maybe a bit of gatherings here and there, people celebrating on their own. And our own children, instead of them being with them in schools, we are celebrating independence, they are busy on Facebook checking on things which are illicit in nature. And so I find it very, very funny. And so the emphasis is that the comrades that fought for independence, the majority of them who were in key positions were actually teachers. And so we must take a teacher seriously when we talk about independence.
You've mentioned something to say way back when celebrating independence, you would be here and there dancing with the freedom fighters and all, appreciating them. Do you think there's a specific way independence should be celebrated?
Indeed, there should be a specific way independence should be celebrated. In the first place, I'll take you back to schools. You find in those days, you could march. You march, you reach at a point, or maybe you start marching from some distance until you reach at your school. When you reach at your school, you find food has been prepared, or your parents had ways in which they organize the food, they've prepared, you are eating together collectively, regardless of tribe, regardless of, you know, race and so on. We could eat together collectively. But the situation is not happening now. And so what we are saying is that, can the office of the Secretary Cabinet, I think, working with the unions, ourselves, sit down and see how we can bring back this kind of independence that we were enjoying. And you see, when you talk about a teacher, you are talking about a civil servant that, you know, commanded a lot of respect in those days. You know, in the independence struggle, even after independence, in the post-independence era, you find that when a teacher is passing, you know, people do stand aside and give respect to a teacher. But this time, we don't know what has happened.
Even rub shoulders.
Yes, possibly the people are not being told to say these teachers actually played a very important role at first as freedom fighters. And here we need to respect our teachers regardless of where they are. After all, teaching is the actually mother profession of opera. You cannot be an economist, you cannot be a doctor, you cannot be a lawyer without having passed through the hands of a teacher. And so we look forward to seeing independence being celebrated the way it used to be done, where explanations were being made to say this is what happened. Because these children now, if you ask them, they will tell you, independence, I don't know, but I see something in 24th October. I watch possibly something happening, you know, soldiers marching and so on TV. Nothing has been explained to them to say blood was shed during independence. And we must honor this day because the freedom that you, my 5-year child, you are enjoying now is attributed to the people that fought hard for this independence that we are enjoying. This time people can carelessly speak to say, no, actually, you know, me, I'm ready for any war, because they never saw the
what
blood that was there during independence. People are carelessly speaking.
They don't understand.
Yeah, they don't understand.
So clearly, Mr. Mwale, one of the professors that visited Zambia from Nigeria mentioned, I like to re-echo that each time it's Teachers' Day, which is 5th October, he said you can erase all the professions but leave out a teacher because he will reproduce each and every profession. I always stand by that. Not because I'm a teacher or what, but I just feel it's so true. And owing to what you've alluded to, these people who, most of the people that fought independence were teachers, but then we don't recognize them as much. As years go by, things keep changing every year. Way back, I think maybe 10 years ago, we'd see people go to the Independence Stadium where there would be all these celebrations, but we no longer see those things. You, the teachers, are supposed to champion for these things to be documented in books. Are you doing enough to ensure that people keep relearning this history, our history?
Exactly. Of course, see, our syllabus is trying to ensure that a number of these things are enshrined. But you see, this must be followed by the actual celebration on the 24th October, where children must be explained to say, this is what took place in 1964. The colors of the flag, apart from them being enshrined in the syllabus to say, no, red stands for the blood that showed, green is our vegetation, orange is our mineral resources, and so on and so forth. The eagle is about our pride, and so on. We must explain fully what this meant, because at the end of the day, we are seeing a number of SADC countries that I think are celebrating it better than we are doing. And so we are calling upon government through the office of the Secretary to Cabinet. We want to get back to that kind of celebration that was there, where things get back to schools, right from the grassroots. You know, in my village, we could celebrate both teachers and parents. We are eating pork and goat meat together. Yes. But you see, we've made the people believe that, you know, independence is just that which is celebrated at State House and so. No, that is for His Excellency and his colleagues and the other invited guests. But what about down there? We must find ways of celebrating it. And the best are the schools, because in the rural areas especially, government is represented by schools. I think you are privy to what I'm talking about. In the far-flying areas, government is represented by schools, and so we must see that come back. It promoted unity. If I talk about humanism, I don't know, comrades, how old you were at that time. The time of humanism, where a week before independence, we could go and work for the vulnerable, work for the aged, work for the poor. You know, you are going as school children, drawing water for them.
And cleaning their houses. Cleaning
hospitals like, you know, Hilltop and UTH and so on. You are going around cleaning and, you know, giving back to the poor and so on. That is not happening now. Me, I wouldn't mind if humanism was brought back, of course, using even the same name. I wouldn't mind, because, I mean, it helped us very, very much in terms of taking care of the poor and the vulnerable.
At least you understood that unity, brought people together. So independence, once again, if you're just joining us, we are celebrating the 56th independence on Saturday, which is 24th of October. You can send us your messages on our Facebook page. Unfortunately, we're not able to take calls, but you can still send us those messages. Just give us your message to Mother Zambia. We are celebrating. Don't take us so seriously. You out there,
we're in the vibe.
We're in the vibe. You know, we're celebrating. We're able to talk
here.
Right
we're
now.
Within.
Yes, we're able to talk right now. We're able to move freely. We're able to comment on anything. We're able to use social media because we are free. Obviously, Mr. Mwale here mentioned to say we are independent as a country, but we're still fighting for other economic, other forms of of independence, such as economic independence.
Yes, of course.
Going into that, Mr. Mwale, how best do you think we can do that? Because we've been talking about this. I think the past 4 years, as far as I can remember, it's been no, we are free, but we're not free.
What
does that mean? I feel I'm free.
I think the lack of freedom that some sections of society have actually referred to, maybe it is the dependence on bilateral and the multilateral donors like the IMF and the World Bank, where we cannot do certain, you know, budget sections can only be implemented through the assistance from the World Bank and the IMF. I think that is where people are talking about. You know, Zambians are looking forward to a situation where we'll be able to come up with our budget, you know, execute it without dependence on the IMF and the World Bank, of course, including these other donors. I think that is the economic independence they're talking about. Of course, political independence we are, but this is the economic independence that people are saying we do not have it. I think we look forward one day where we are going to enjoy this independence. You know, getting back to the actual, you know, independence, where we were celebrating together, I think there was a mixture of various tribes.
Yeah.
Okay? The tribalism that some people are championing now, I think it was not in the picture during the struggle for independence. When you go countrywide, you find that each and every province, if not district, has freedom fighters. They united when they were fighting colonialism.
Yeah.
You see, why can't we unite now? Why can't we do away with the tribalism that we are actually talking about now? There was unity now. Each district you go to, you find our senior citizens who say, Nali freedom fighters, I don't know whether others even cheat. Nali freedom fighters, and so on. But you find they're all over. When you go back to my village,
it must be liars.
Yes, they are there. Okay, they are all over. Why? They united regardless of the tribe.
Yeah.
But we are busy now promoting tribalism and so on and so forth. We are saying with independence, all these things were not there. And so I'll still get back to you that as teachers, we really want to be involved in this independence because at the end of the day, We have children that don't know. Others, they think, no, when they wear that, the young ones, these were taken to private school. You know, in those days, you could even ask them to say, can you bring all the traditional foodstuffs?
Yeah.
Okay, here, traditional foodstuffs. Now, we want you in Ibemba. What is your mfukuta? How would you dance it? You, how do you dance your ngoma dance? You, how would you dance it? All sorts of dance were being, you know, practiced that time. But the situation is different.
It's different.
You know, elders, when it's Independence Day, that's when they started drinking as early as 8 hours. I think it's beyond the drinking that you are celebrating. It's about reflecting. The language we are using when we are in these political, you know, platforms, we don't care to say this freedom we are enjoying where you can say anything. People suffered for this food. And the blood that was shed for a purpose. We can't take a risk of anyone now, you know, trying to push that blood is shed again because somebody possibly wants to get to State House. It is wrong. We must ensure that we preserve this freedom. That's why His Excellency Dr. Kaunda sometimes, when he sees certain happenings, he will literally, you know, sob to say, I think this
is not what I fought for.
Yes, this is not what I fought for. This is not what I fought for because as a teacher, they were risking their lives. Imagine those education commissioners, you know, we call them commissioners, education commissioners moving from one school to the other. Dr. Kaunda and his team could manage to hold the meetings of your political emancipation in schools, right in schools. They managed. Okay? And that's why these schools, we must hold them to the highest esteem, if anything, because these schools contributed a lot to the...
What do you think has changed? What do you think has changed with these teachers? Is it because they've lost the passion or the time, or maybe is it because people are just getting into this profession because they want to get a job? What has really changed?
You see, the challenge that we have is that, of course, we have born teachers. The message when we go into a teacher training college, speaking as I am myself, I'm a primary school teacher, a secondary school teacher, and then currently I'm a law student. But I would attest to you to say, when we go into a teaching college, we are told to say, Vane, you are welcome, and teaching is a noble profession.
Just like journalism?
Yes, just like journalism, just like nursing. But now, what do we have? We have people... Because at the law school, maybe didn't like something. At Zikas, somebody didn't like something. At the School of Medicine, somebody didn't. No, let me go and
be a
do
teacher.
A passion. They do not have the passion because a teacher who is passionate must be able at Independence Day put up with Tengi and dance with the children.
You're going to give us that dance.
Yeah,
you're spoken too much about dance.
We can do the drums.
We need a better platform, not here.
Okay, Mr. Mwale, now, you're talking about freedom fighters not being recognized as teachers. Do you feel the freedom fighters that we have now, let's talk of the man on the money, the freedom statue. Do you think Mr. Mpunda has been recognized as he should be and the rest of the freedom fighters?
Comrade Mpundu, I've not followed him so much, but if he has not been given much recognition, I think our appeal to the sitting government is that can he be recognized fully, because the role that he played is magnificent. You can't doubt it, and so he must be given much recognition. But I'm more grateful that I've seen a few like our own, the late Comrade Grace Zulu, may he so rest in peace, where he was honored. Dr. Kaunda was honored. The late Mama Chiwesa Kankasa was honored, and so on and so forth. So Comrade Mpundu, I think how I wish he could be honored fully, and so we are appealing to government to say if there's that opportunity, can he be honored seriously, because the role he played was very, very important. Equally, even whatever teacher if there are any that we have not mentioned here, they are not difficult to find. They are not difficult to find. If you went to Mwanze Gwembe now, you will find those old teachers. If you go to Lundaz, you will find, they will tell you to say in those white commissioner, they even whipped me when they found me holding a meeting trying to receive KK, he was coming. They whipped me. And so you find them, they are there with all the history. Can we find ways in which they can be honored, even in the smallest way? We can. That way, we are going to enjoy, you know, the independence that we are enjoying now. Because at the end of the day, we have nothing to tell the young ones. If you ask the young ones to explain to you, they will tell you, we don't know what this independence means, especially those in primary school.
So now, to the young generation out there that don't fully understand what independence, apart from wearing the colorful clothes and also singing the national anthem and also putting up poems that talk about the fight for freedom and also independence, what is your message to the young generation?
Yeah, our message is that I think can they research more from their parents? The problem with the modern parentage is that we have no time for the young ones. Okay? The honor is ours as parents. Can we educate these children about issues to do with independence? If you as a parent, you are too busy, I think teachers are more than ready to explain the issues to do with the independence and the freedom that we are enjoying now and how people suffered for it.
All right, so you are watching the Independence Builder program. Just now, we take a break. Join us shortly after this breather as we continue to discuss the role that teachers played in the struggle for independence. You can also watch us on our Facebook page or our TV says, that is GoTV, Topstar and DSTV. My name is Sharon Kalimbula. Stay with us.
Msika is here. We have you all covered with just 150 kwacha. You can advertise every day from 17 hours to 18 hours. For a 30-second ad, get the benefit of selling your products and services on Msika. For more details, call our marketing department on +260 953 995099 +260 962 444 726 or +260 971 177 467. Email us on info@camnettvafrica.com. Terms and conditions apply.
This is Camnet TV World News. For a prompt response, call +260 953 995 099 or +260 962 444 726 or +260 711 77467. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
The Bible says, I knew you before I placed you in your mother's womb. Apples and bananas.
Work and wait, and this what you've been praying for.
Jesus, speak to the wind, calm the storm, calm the storm.
Oh Jesus, speak to the wind, calm the storm, calm the storm.
And now we cry out, Yahweh,
Oh, Yahweh.
come and heal our land, Yahweh.
And now we cry out, Yahweh. So bouge chalo, Yahweh.
The standard of living is going higher. We've been praying and breaking. Kwa machibaba vitu si vichinja.
Nandia Sikana, Soba Bochita, Tiona Chao, Bebango Kuma Vimova, some committing suicide while they're battling with depression. Zambia small businesses are shutting down because money is getting hard to buy. We are blaming one another and Sonia.
Tembo menya na mbanje, uona mongani yanko, yamba vutu yake, wamba ya itipa yana patabe. Jesus, speak to the wind, calm the storm, calm the storm. Lord Jesus, speak to the wind, calm every storm, calm every storm. And now we cry out to you. Come and heal our land, come heal our land. We call you Yahweh, the Lion of Judah. We call you Yahweh, Nangavayamba Bwanjilelo, hey, Bobotana, about the declaration of Zambia as a Christian nation. No, Nangavayamba Bwanjilelo, Bobotana, over the legalization of homosexuality.
Iwe Zambia kuza ndani, boko pela vileta uchimo, boko pela vileta chisoni, pamaso pa mulungu wako.
Let us get back to that first love, be of the Lord that we had. All one strong and free, we will stand. Twaijavya, mojeni chelo, Yahweh. Tupokeleleni na kabili, forena Zambia.
our nation in all sectors, that all storms that have risen may be calm. Speak to the wind of tribalism, speak to the wind of poverty, speak to the wind of violence, speak to the wind of economic crisis, and speak to all other evil winds that have risen over our nation, our families, the body of Christ, and our individual lives. May they all be calm in the name of Jesus. We speak love, peace, unity, and prosperity over Mother Zambia.
You are still watching the Independence Day Countdown show, or a build-up show, you would call it, right here on Camnet TV. Tomorrow you'll be joining the boys, and then Saturday we continue with the celebration. All the shows on Saturday will be themed Zambia's Independence Act 56. And just before we went on a break, we were having a discussion with Mr. Mwale, just telling us how the celebrations were way back. And also we had a discussion while the song was playing.
Yeah.
Mr. Mwale, way back there were some songs where Nam Wikara Pansaka, and then there are those to my songs that you're singing. Do you remember any?
Yes.
Would you mind? Do you mind?
Yeah, it was common in Bembaland, you know, they could sing Ubuntunga Twalipoka Uwachalo Icha Zambia.
You used to have fun way back.
So that's how far you can go.
Okay, but anyways, getting back to recognizing teachers and all freedom fighters, majority were teachers, as you explained earlier. What do you think is the difference between the teachers then and the teachers now?
What is it that they're doing that was not done then?
I think I will still get back to the society equally. The society held the teacher in highest esteem, and the teacher that was there, who was respected so much. Remember earlier on, I alluded to the fact that, you know, a teacher was held in a highest esteem to an extent where when a teacher is walking around, whoever was anywhere near could give way for a teacher to pass, which we are not seeing now. And a teacher who was there was a teacher that was highly motivated, was self-motivated, okay? But with passing of time, okay, we are seeing a few bad eggs that are coming into the profession, you know, after possibly they've failed to succeed elsewhere, and they are taking, you know, teaching as the last option. Those are the ones that are failing us. But speaking as I am, we have a cadre of teachers that is highly motivated. All we need to do is possibly to show that on Independence Day, teachers are highly recognized, and they are given a specific role to play. For example, by taking care of their own learners in schools and celebrating with them, together with parents, if it's possible.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. We are coming to almost the close of this program, but then maybe just your last word. You know that thing that you really want to speak to the public, just voice out.
Yeah, I think my message is very clear, and my message is directed to Cabinet, of course, represented by Secretary to Cabinet, representing government, that we want the celebrations of independence that we used to have in those days to come back. That is the only way in which the generation that we have now will learn and appreciate independence. If we are not careful, if we are not imparting that knowledge of independence in our learners, we risk having this independence go into oblivion unless we impart it into the younger generation that we have. So I think very soon, through using the unions, we may be engaging Secretary to Cabinet and indeed the Minister of General Education, so that this is allowed to start. If anything, let it start even
this Saturday.
Yes, this Saturday. But we may be late in terms of preparations. Maybe come 2021. Yes.
All right, thank you, Mr. Mwale, for coming through. We hope that we get to have you again on another platform to discuss more on the teachers' side. Yes, of course.
I'm grateful. Thank you
for
very
those that are just joining us, unfortunately, we've come to the dying minute of the show. But make sure that you make a date with us tomorrow again, same time, and Saturday. We are counting down to Independence Day. We're just discussing the role that teachers played during the fight for independence way back, and Mr. Mwale was just highlighting on that. Well, from me, Precious Mzea Sakaleji, and Sharon Kalimbula, and also
thank
Mr.
you so
Male.
much for joining us. We can continue the conversation on our Facebook page. Send us the songs that you feel you really speak to you as an independent Zambian, because obviously Mr. Male had mentioned, and many other people out there say, we are politically emancipated but not economically emancipated. This is what we are fighting for. But regardless of that, I feel we are still enjoying some form of freedom. We're able to speak what we want, we're able to talk about what we want, we're able to criticize different sectors of our economy. So on that note, join the guys tomorrow. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon.
Ubuntu ngwa walipoka uwachalo inchazanya.
This is the part I like. Bye. We're out. We're out.